This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Hey, there he is. How you doing, my brother? How you hanging in there? You feeling good?
Hanging in there, brother. What can I tell you?
I got to tell you, man. I got to tell you, you made it worse for me.
What did I do?
Yeah, because you and your logic. God damn it. So you and I have been doing this for over 20 years, and for 20 years plus, I've told you, yeah, I don't get excited about recruits. That's been me forever. You know that, right? And we go from the Willie Williams all the way to I don't know, Tate Martell, and who's some of the latest ones that have been highly touted and did nothing. I just mentioned another one of the last couple of years here, but
there's been a lot.
There's been a lot of them. So then comes your damn logic, because yesterday, Jaden Rashada ends up committing, or the day before, he ends up committing. And so people are asking, oh, that second QB and all that with the other kid from Milton to get in. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, bro, because of what you've mentioned now, because of the transfer portal, because it's just a commit. He just picked up a hat from a table. He still has a whole year of high school that he might change his mind, and Texas A&M may become more sexy to him, or LSU or Florida, and he flips over to that hat 6 months from now, a year from now, or he gets here to Coral Gables, and a year later, after being in Coral Gables, he's not satisfied with the way things are, and he says, I'm transferring out of here. So it's even harder for me now to even get excited for a recruit, because it's not so much if the recruit will even perform or not. Hell, you don't even know if you'll ever see him play for your damn team. You ruined it for me.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I know I'm killing it for all the recruits out there who
logic. What's wrong with you? Don't you watch politics? There's no logic in politics. Why can't you do what everyone else does in the government?
That's what I get paid to do here. I get paid to tell the truth, man. And I want you guys to proceed with caution. I'm not saying don't be a fan, don't get excited. What I'm telling you is be smart. Just think about what has happened here and how much the transfer portal has changed everything. And the fact that, we're having commitments here in June, which mean nothing until they sign on the dotted line in December. And that's just what you always have to keep
that still
in the back of your mind.
Shit either.
Right. Because as soon as he gets in there, you can go. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's actually playing and like on the field, then you really have the recruit. But until then, if that kid doesn't feel he's getting a fair shake, he's out of here, dude. He's gone. Hell, I'm almost shocked that Jake Garcia's still here, by the way. Really?
Yeah. It's the way it is now. It's just the way it is now. And so now every day going forward, right, with 5 quarterbacks in tow here, 5 guys who I think could all be very good. I really think this kid from Milton is, you talk to Frank Ponce, you talk to people around the program, they really think he's special. I mean, 6'5", 190. I talked to his high school coach the other day. Nobody was going by that old high school, Milton, in the Panhandle. And all of a sudden now the coaches, he's going to the Elite 11 camp, and everybody's like, who's this kid who's ranked number 49 quarterback in the country? And they're like, well, Frank Ponce jumped on him first. He really, got on him first. And that's what the good coaches do. Oh, right. They recognize talent before anybody else does. They develop those relationships. And in this case with Miami, I think, Mario's coaching staff is going to get a lot of these kids to come here. The question is, do you keep them? Because of the way the world is now with NIL and everything else. And you have to recruit your own players. Every offseason, you have to recruit your own players to stay. And it's just part of the way the world is now. But I'll tell you what, if I'm a Miami fan, I'm grateful that I've got a guy like Mario Cristobal and Josh Gaddis and Kevin Steele and all these guys who are respected, because that goes a long way in a fight here for some of these kids.
No doubt about it. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button while you're watching. And of course, visit our friends at Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Remember, when you order over $99, you will get free shipping. And they've got everything with the Canes logo, but you can also get Heat, Dolphins, Marlins, Panthers, and Inter Miami gear there at caneswear.com if you can't go personally. And if you go personally, go like 100 yards, just south of it, and go over in La Spada, dude, and treat yourself to a sub.
Yeah, good
really,
good subs.
God, I feel like eating a La Spada sub right now. I just, man, I was thinking of Canes where I'm going, because Canes were in La Spada subs. It just like it used
They
to
go
be
hand in hand.
It used to be Dolphins camp and La Spada subs. Right now, the Dolphins camp is gone.
Right.
Because when I was on the beat, my brother, 80% of the time I was eating at La Spada when I got out of there, man. Always. I loved going to La Spada, man. Ugh,
Great place. Great sandwiches.
Yeah, by the way, La Spada, make a damn restaurant over here in Kendall. Come on, you got a couple locations.
They had one in Pines and they shut it down where I live. And they moved out. That was during the pandemic, which everybody, there are a lot of places that moved out. So
yeah, unfortunately, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Paradise Camp. So talk to me a little bit, or Legends Camp. I'm sorry,
Legends Camp. Correct.
Legends Camp. So now talk to me about Legends Camp this weekend. What would you find successful about Legends Camp this weekend?
Well, look, the way this always works, and Mario always talks about this, is he recruits 2 years out, right? So there wasn't a boatload of 2023 kids that were there. There were some. I'm not saying there weren't, but most of them were 2024, 2025 kids. And if you're going to win them over, right, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you got to start the relationships now. And I think Mario and his staff did a great job sort of communicating, showing the players themselves, hey, this is how Miami is now. This is the way we're running things. It's a little different. If you came to some previous Paradise camps, this is what we're about. We're about the work. We're about getting to the next level. We're about winning championships. So I think that message was conveyed to a lot of parents and certainly to a lot of people who were there watching. I think, it was successful. Is it that different from Paradise Camp? No, not in terms of the work or what they're doing, what they're allowed to do. But I think, there was a moment where, unfortunately, there was this receiver, 2025 class, a kid who's only 15 years old, really good receiver out of the Pensacola area. He actually came down awkwardly and tore up his ankle, and they had to call an ambulance, and he basically fractured it. And Mario, they were going to offer the kid a scholarship anyway, from what I was told, at the camp. But essentially, the kid gets put in an ambulance. Mario gets on a cart, drives out there, and opens the back door and sits there and spends 10 minutes talking to the kid, trying to just calm him down, and gives him the scholarship offer and says, hey, man, we know you're hurt right now, but we still believe in you. We still want you. And I thought that was a great moment. I think I think it's sort of a great message to the recruits as well. And by the way, none of those guys were out there seeing that. Mario did that with everybody inside the bubble. This was out in the backfields in the sun. But I recorded him.
That'll resonate. That'll resonate, and it'll get through everybody.
Yeah,
that'll
get to parents, and they'll know, hey, look, this guy, when he's serious that he wants you, he means it. So, it'll be a good story to watch here in the years to come. But my point is just, I think from hey, we need to make an impression on parents. We need to make an impression on kids. I think they did that.
All right. Anything else stand out to you from that camp?
Well, I mean, I talked to a lot of former players. Greg Mark, who was on Miami staff for many years as the D-line coach. He retired from coaching in 2005, and we had a long conversation just about the grind of coaching. And he basically left the profession, sadly, because his wife passed away shortly after the birth of his first daughter. And it's kind of one of those tough stories, something I'm going to write here in The Athletic eventually. But there were so many guys like Greg Mark who haven't been around campus in a while, and they came back because of Mario, because they feel like when they say, hey, you're going to have an opportunity to help these kids, to leave an imprint, they believe them. And for a long time, former players have talked about this. They don't necessarily feel welcome, right, when they come back around, because some of these coaches are insecure, are they going to take my job, etc. And I think, a lot of these former guys, it was important for them. I was at a meeting at Shula's back in October when, Alonzo Highsmith and Melvin Bratton, all these guys were like, when the season had gone awry and we knew there was a chance Manny wouldn't be the coach, what they hope to do to change the program around. And all of them talked about, hey, we want to be connected again. We want to be on the sideline. We want to be there in person. And so Mario's working with them right now to figure out a plan so that they can have more of those older voices on the sideline to just show support and set an example and be like, hey, we want you guys to be great again, and deliver that message of support and do it in person.
All right, good stuff there. All right, by the way, the handling of that QB room, that's gonna, this goes back to the old Canes where had several QBs in a room at times, and guys that were successive guys that were following another guy that was successful.
Right.
That is something that was the norm back in those days. So you want to kind of get back to that where you have Tyler Van Dyke and you have the next guy being groomed and ready to take over and kind of keep things going. So have you talked to them about how they got to handle the QB room when the QB room is a strong room that has several guys that could start?
Listen, I think Mario's philosophy is load up on talent and let it play out. I think in today's world, as we talked about at the top of this discussion, Ohio State every year signs elite quarterbacks, and every year Ohio State loses elite quarterbacks to the transfer portal to guys wanting to go play somewhere else. So the whole point is to keep it stacked so that you never have a problem saying, hey, we're confident in this guy putting him on the field. Let's face it, go back and you look at the last 25 years since Vinny Testaverde and Jim Kelly and Bernie Kosar, who are the NFL quarterbacks from NFLU, right? We talked about it being quarterback U. There's not a lot of examples, right, of guys who even got drafted or started a game. Ken Dorsey was we know him now for his coaching, right, and for being an offensive coordinator, not necessarily a player in the in the NFL. So I think that's the number one thing that has to change, because you look at the college football playoff every single year. Who wins championships? The guys with the quarterbacks who get drafted in the first round.
Yeah, and the dude that wins all those titles now, he's now getting elite quarterbacks because he was winning those championships with game managers.
Yep.
Now somehow he changed his philosophy and said, "Yeah, let me go get a dynamic guy back there," and he's getting those top-notch quarterbacks too.
Yeah, and Georgia was sort of the one example I think in recent years where they had a great defense, but otherwise, Trevor Lawrence, you talk about Bryce Young, Tua, all the guys that they've had go through there between Clemson, even Ohio State's quarterbacks, they've had good quarterbacks, guys that have been first-round picks when they get to the playoffs. Oklahoma, right, when they get to the playoff every single year, they had a guy. So I think it's such an important part of it all, and I think Miami is going to keep loading up on quarterbacks every year because they know how this works. Some guys stick around, some guys don't. And you got to kind of just make sure that it's never empty. Make sure the tank's never empty.
What are you working on over at The Athletic so Canes fans can check you out?
Well, this whole Jaden Rashada story, I know it's been kind of wild. I know there were some reports saying that he made $9.5 million or had agreed to a deal for $9.5 million to come play for Miami and NIL money. That was a report from On3.
He addressed that yesterday, right?
He addressed that yesterday. But we've been having a lot of conversations for the last several months with agents and people and all kinds of people behind the scenes that go on throughout this process. And I'll tell you first of all, I don't think he's making $9.5 million. I don't think it's anywhere close to that. Okay. And I will tell you that I'm working with a lot of journalists on this story, a lot of people at The Athletic who are very, very good. Andy Staples, Bruce Feldman. There are people here that, are well connected in college football. And so we're working on that. There'll be a story on that at some point that's coming here soon. But aside from all that, listen, tonight there's going to be another commitment, I think, for Miami. This Ray Joseph kid is going to commit, wide receiver out of Miami Edison. Was told Sunday was going to happen. Ray delayed it a couple days so he could have his own sort of party, his own fiesta. And then there's other ones that later this week, July 1, on Friday, there's going to be a few more kids. So recruiting is in full tilt. You're having these commitments. And so we'll have coverage of all that, as well as some stories, like I said, from Legends Camp, etc.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. More importantly, subscribe to The Athletic like I and many others do. Manny, as always, appreciate you, my friend. We will catch up with you later on in the week.
All right, brother. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro, baby. And our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.